Hey legends, welcome along to Hellmouth Hotline. I am your host, Rodney Stewart, and in this episode we're going to get into a review from the Hammer box set, the Hammer collection. And yes, we're going to be alternating between the Hammer collection and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the series, over the next couple of weeks, just to mix things up a little bit. I should say, before we go any further, there's a few movies within the Hammer collection that aren't necessarily horror movies, but whenever you think Hammer, you automatically think Hammer horror. So I'm just going to cover the entire box set because I like to finish what I start. So sit back, relax, put your feet up for 5 or 10 minutes, and I hope you enjoy this episode. The first movie in the box set is She, and I'm just going to look up some details on it here. What year did it come out? It was 1965. Stars Ursula Andress, Peter Cushing, one of the regulars, is in it. Bernard Gribbins is in this as well. John Richardson, Rosenda Montrose, and of course Christopher Lee pops up in so many of the Hammer movies. But yes, getting into this film at the very beginning as a horror film, but not the horror I was expecting from Hammer. And it's very interesting. I am actually just looking up on IMDb here when I'm shooting this video, just to get a quick synopsis of the movie, because I could tell you about it. We could jump scene by scene what happens in it. An Edwardian archaeologist and 2 companions stumble upon a lost city in Africa run by a beautiful queen whose love holds the promise of immortality. And now, of course, that's Ursula Andress as the queen, and it's not Peter Cushing, it's the friend Leo. He pretty much gets ambushed by this girl that meets her in a bar. She takes him out to go somewhere more private, and he gets knocked out, and he's taken to Ursula Andress, and she pretty much tells him that she offers him the world basically if he can follow a map to this lost city and discover its riches and whatnot, just dangling the carrot under his nose. So he goes back to Peter Cushing and his manservant. They all go off on this journey to find the lost city. On the way there, the original girl that set him up at the beginning, she has got there's a love interest between the 2 of them. But eventually they get to the lost city. They discover that it's thriving and whatnot under the rule of this queen, and there's another tribe of people that are kind of servants to her and her people. Turns out that this guy Leo is supposed to be the reincarnated soul of her lover that died hundreds of thousands of years ago, whatever it may be. She has found the secret to immortality, and she's been waiting to find this love across the ages, kind of like the same idea as the Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula. So as we're coming up on the end of the movie, she has twisted his mind, or trying to twist his mind, and taking on immortality by stepping into a flame, but it can only happen at a certain time. And that's, in all honesty, throughout the entire film, give it the first 40 minutes. The first 40 minutes of it are very slow. You can take it or leave it until they actually get to the lost city, but once they get in there and they start uncovering more of the story leading up towards the end, it is actually a genius ending to this film. So much better than I was expecting it to be. because it was just setting it up to go one way, and then what happens at the very end of it was just very poetic, and I just spat all over the camera. Very poetic in the way it ends off the movie, and honestly, it's, if I was to sit down and try and write an ending towards a film, I'm not blowing a lot of sunshine up my own backside here, but this is the kind of film that I would want to write. This is the kind of ending that see, I don't want to tell you how it ends, because it's just so good. And you know, as you come up towards the end of it, you're going to figure it out. You're going to get it 5-10 minutes probably before the film actually finishes. But just in the way that it's done and the story that it tells, Ursula Andress, as I say, is trying to manipulate this guy Leo and following her goal towards being, and there is a resemblance between him and her ex-love, but the girl from earlier on that set him up, and the love interest between the two of them, there's a jealousy thing between Ursula Andress' character going after her. It's like a story of, you know, be careful what you wish for sort of thing, because he has this promise of immortality dangling in front of his nose, but at the same time, over here, there's the possibility of getting the life that he really always wanted, and it's a choice to which way he wants to go. And by the end of it, it's one of these things where, you know, yes, be careful what you wish for, because gosh, I so want to say what happens at the end of this film. Honestly, this is worth checking out if you catch it on TV or something, or even buy the box set. It's not going to be a waste of your time whatsoever. I was actually, by the end of this, as I said at the start of the video, looking through the box set, I wasn't overwhelmed by, oh crap, I really want to see all these movies, and I was just like, I could maybe take or leave this box set. But by the end of this first movie alone, it's worth every penny that I paid for that box set, and I'm dying to get on to see what's coming next. This has been a production of Coins Edge Media. Check out my social media links in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening.